Greetings, I am Lies and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together!
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, we are back with episode 2 of Kaiju Noir. And we've decided to put some soft noir music in the background.
We have.
So it is copyright free on YouTube, so we are going to be doing that.
Yes. But this is because we were like, we really want some music. I really just want this here, dang nabbit.
Just a little bit more texture to the game, if you will. A little more experience. We can link this so people can know what we listen to, yeah?
Sure.
All right, so we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right, just don't cause trouble in here, got it? Starina. Stainra. I can do this. My brain's like, I don't know that word. I can't predict it. Stainra.
Don't predict it. Read it.
Does a good job at dealing with trouble. But I hate having to replace the furniture and clean the mess off the walls when they're done.
No trouble here. Just doing my job as quietly as I can. No stomping intended.
Fights bounces like a kaiju in a city.
The bartender nods both heads and turns back to their show. What you watching?
Dunno. It's either one of those old human monster movies or a documentary. Acting is terrible either way.
Who's winning?
Okay, but I love that though.
That is pretty good.
The head not watching, the monitor spits into the sink.
Us. So it's probably just a movie. Oh god. If the kaijus are winning, it's not a documentary. Oh, sad.
The tone tells you everything you need to know. After working with Alex for years, it's become easy to spot those who came back. You were there? They nod ahead.
Right near the end. Lied about my brood year, went out, barely came back. Lied about my age again to get the job here. Been here ever since. So your army tour was up fighting the humans before this split was established?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
That is wild.
So yeah, so you haven't had anyone out doing army or like military service for 10 years because that part's discontinued.
Yeah.
And then that would be a thing that, you know, your new generation will never relate to. As it were.
Because you don't have any way to treat basically your PTSD, your people who feel, you know, basically abandoned by their government, or
people that are like, the world's not the same as it was, you got nothing. That's fascinating.
Yeah. Not the worst place, stand up. They don't reply.
They look at you incredulously. Have you seen the place you're in?
You slowly work through your drink, getting a feel for the place. It's not as bad as you thought once you block out the smell.
The name's Rex, by the way. So, who are you looking for?
The bartender is still watching the movie, which is now showing a giant kaiju wrecking a power plant that crumbles like cheap wood. Someone named Lorithrak. Know him? Again, the non-committal shrug.
Maybe. Most folks don't deal in names here. Or real ones, at least.
You sigh. Knowing where this is going.
Bribe him!
Anything I can do to help you remember?
Oh, wait.
What?
I'm like, are you propositioning them?
We'll find out!
Whoa! Depends. You any good?
At what? Answering vague questions? I'm fucking great at it. Try me. Ask another.
I love that. That's so good, though.
One head laughs, and the other growls.
Wise ass. I'd watch that muzzle round here if you like your teeth. I mean, you any good as a detective, and you know it. I mean, I didn't know it because it was a little non sequitur, but I'm glad you're making it clear. I was like, whoa. Whoa.
Wow. You give a variation of their non-committal shrug. I've ended a few marriages and closed my share of cases. Need something looked into?
Okay, but based on the fact that, like, none of the other kaiju so far are really wearing clothes, only decorations, I wonder if people are just like, what the fuck do you have on you?
I know. I think a lot of it, though, is like, it is all a decoration. You're wearing the pieces, basically, that would denote you to be a PI.
Except, basically,
it's all costumery.
A human weeb PI. So if people aren't into that, they wouldn't know why you're wearing that. Because again, he's like, are you a top, looking you up and down like, what the fuck are you dressed as?
Right?
They pierce the top of another can with a pincer and hand it to you.
Oh, question. Can we hide the interface in case we see more interesting monsters?
I'm afraid to hit buttons. Let me look at, first, the prefaces? Let's see. Stop skipping, text speed, auto forward. Let's...
Nope.
Return really quick. We're gonna go look at the save window real fast. Options? Let's try options.
Nope.
Nope. I don't think there is anything then.
I was gonna say,
Because
okay.
that's just a return to the main part of the menu.
Yeah,
so
okay, so I'm gonna say, because a lot of them have it,
please
I'm
put
gonna
it
read
in.
the line and then try H. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh god, here we go.
I got something for you. Not now, though. You got a card or something? Alright, H. Yes, it works!
It works!
Yes! So I know that we did get to see these two, but like in the event of other kaiju, and I wanted a better look at the bouncer, that we're going to be using the H. So you can use H to hide the interface to anyone else who may play this.
Alright, so that is a thing though that I know, so they say that it works on a lot of visual novels actually, as far as based on what I understand, but you don't know which one it is.
It's not all of them, because some of them it definitely hasn't worked for us.
No, and the thing is also it could just be a different game. You know, like I don't even know.
A different
it might
turkey?
be. Yeah, it might also be that like this is really common with like RenP visual novel games. So games made in the specific or visual novels made in the specific
Generator.
UI called RenP.
Could be. I don't know if that's one. Was this one made in that?
Mm-hmm. As far
Okay.
as I know.
All right. You got a card or something?
You hand over the last of your business cards. They glance at it skeptically.
Continuity.
Maybe.
Oh, you're the one Alex works for.
You know Alex?
I mean, he said he'd been here.
You said also war.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're both war veterans, so
So-
of course they're gonna know each other.
If there weren't that many of you, you'd probably know each other, but who knows?
Yeah.
Long story. Don't ask. I see him around here sometimes, though.
They pocket the card in their apron and nod to a table off to the back of the bar.
Laura Thrak is over there. You can't miss him.
Oh, I'm so excited to see what this character looks like. Let's
Me
do it.
too.
The indicated table holds a single occupant, hunched, spiky, and drinking like they are prepared to go on drinking forever.
I love that you're smoking too. The main character's just like cigar and grumpy.
Uh-huh.
One of my best and worst customers. Drinks all night, never says thanks. Some fucking gratitude wouldn't go amiss.
I love that. Actually, I'm like, you're a great customer, but you're also an asshole, and you will never say thank you for the work that I actually put in there. Well, I pay you, don't I? It's like, they are still a person, though. They
You
have
could
feelings.
be polite.
They are still a kaiju, though. They do have feelings.
Kaiju have feelings
Kaiju
too.
have feelings, too.
Ever spit in his drink? Both mouths grin widely.
Every fucking night. Tried to stiff me on the tab one night. Don't try to screw with a two-head. We don't forget and we can spit twice as hard. Okay.
Tiny lore, I love it.
2 whole brains to try and remember shit. Fuck off, bro.
Yeah, I got this.
You pick up your drink and stand up from the bar.
I will take this with me and not let it out of my sight. I'm also glad it has a pop tab. So it's harder to, get
Spit.
into. Spit.
Remind me to never piss you off. Anyway, look me up when you've got time. I'll help you out. They nod, going back to watching the end of the movie, and you head towards the occupied table in the back.
I think it's interesting that exchange wasn't a bribe me. It was, are you any good at your job because I need a PI as well?
Right.
And going,
That's actually really charming.
I think that was it was kind of a neat exchange, but also going, I really just want to swap you for your skills if I'm going to give up some information.
Though, as far as I understand, that particular trope in the movies that I've ever watched means especially that the bartender's a good guy. Because the bartender is not asking for money. They're not asking to have grease my palms kind of thing.
Yeah.
They really won't do anything to you. They're actually really just like, I'm just trying to live my life kind of thing, but also I could use help. I'm a normal dude.
Trying to just get by, and I've made my life harder than it needed to be simply by making poor choices in my youth, that kind of thing. And so, yeah.
As you approach the back table, you catch the stink coming from Lorathrak. Dank, musty, alcohol-ridden. The stench of a loner you're all too familiar with.
So he smells like you.
Ew. The table before them is littered with empty cups, the bartender obviously not wanting to get any closer than they have to. Lorathrak. They look up, peering up at you over the top of their drink, eyes trying to focus in the poor light.
Alright, let's see this. Oh my
Holy
god.
fuck!
Look at you.
Oh, you are cool as hell looking.
Alright, here we go.
Ah!
Wow. Hooves, too. Look at that.
Hoofies!
Hoofers.
Hoofs.
Also, like, that is like a pop tab beer. Like, that's a keg. It's a whole entire keg in their hand.
These are just like actually fucking monsters, though.
Big boys.
Dang, guys, good job.
Also going, how do you don't have lips. Do you just, like, tilt your head back and pour it straight down?
Probably.
Because you can't, there's no suck and there's no, like, seal it with your mouth and drink.
Yeah, I'm like, you have to pour. You really do.
That is
because there's no bottom part to that jaw. So.
Nope. I don't even know how to. Okay. What's it to ya? If you're selling something, I don't want any.
Just someone looking to have a chat. You look like you could use some company.
Look at how the mouth opens and closes. That's so good. The tiny little ears.
Oh, we both spy it at the same time.
Tiny little ears.
I'm also really charmed by the little handcuff, like the little cuffs. Like the weird little cuffs that I just wear. You know, why not?
Jewelry. Everybody wear jewelry. You're the only one in clothes, bro. And you know, you're a secretary wearing a tie.
Lore looks you up and down with a sneer before gazing back down at their drink.
I don't want nothing except to be left alone.
You pull out the stool opposite and sit down. Well, that's too bad, Lore, because I'd like to talk.
You a cop?
Everyone seems to be asking me that today. Maybe it's the hat.
I'm still just like, you literally just shred your clothes when you put them on.
I love that reference, though. You're just like, I make my life hard.
I also just like that it's me, the loner antihero, who just makes my life hard for myself.
Dang.
Also, I'm just like, okay, bro, if you shred clothes trying to human in with the proper trope, how are you on pillows and beds? Oh my god. The reason you're such a poor PI is because you shred an expensive mattress every week.
Sleep on your tummy, honey.
Sleep on your belly, baby. You
it's
can do
okay.
it.
You okay, honey? I believe in you.
I'm not a cop. Just someone in need of a few answers. Lore snarls, finishes their drink, slams the cup back on the table, and waves to the bartender.
If that's what you call a cup, good sir.
I am terrified.
Good individual. Wow. What kind of questions?
The kind that have to do with Maxora.
Who? Never heard of him.
Never.
You got smoke in your ears? I don't know him.
I love this bullshit. It's so
funny. She knows you. Says you're saying she owes you some money. The bartender arrives, putting down a fresh cup of something that smells and probably sounds exceedingly flammable. You lean back a little.
Whoa.
Lore picks up the cup, downs half of it in one swig, puts it back down. You wonder if it had a little something extra in it.
On the shorter side, curvy, wings, little horn on top.
That's her.
Shorter. She's shorter. That's adorable, though.
Sorry, the sound is like, and now I'll be loud.
It got real excited.
Saxophones are excitable creatures.
It's okay. Calls herself Maxora now, does she? What else did she tell you?
Said, she said you were blackmailing her. Said she wants you to leave her alone.
Did she show you a blackmail note? Or have any proof that I was doing it? Or what I was supposed to be blackmailing her about?
No, she didn't. And you believed her anyway because she looked scared and had a case.
And money.
Lore grins a filthy, broken-toothed grin.
Honestly, Lore's teeth look great.
They look beautiful.
They do not look broken at all. Looks like the mandibles are well cared for. Looks like the tusks are shiny and polished.
I'm sorry, you are rude.
Sir, you are judging. Cari, you are judging and exaggerating. Also, those aren't like Spikes, those are way more like quills. Those are like thorns, good individual.
Yeah, no kidding.
Not that you can't, call them spikes, but I say more spiny than spiky.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thought so. She wanted you to come down here, make some trouble for me, so I'd leave her alone. Right? Or maybe she wanted you to sort me out good and proper in the alleyway, all quiet-like.
Something like that.
The way the mouth opens and closes and changes their entire expression, it's really good.
It's really nice. Honestly, it's really charming.
They nod and slug back the rest of the drink.
The larg. It just opens face, turns head completely vertical, pours it down.
Uh-huh.
Thought so. You here as her hired muscle?
No, private detective.
Close enough in this city. Listen, flat pad, and listen good. That dame ain't getting blackmailed. Whatever she's mixed up in, I ain't the one causing her grief.
Why has she sent me after you, then?
Now you're asking the right questions. When I was working with her, she was going by Sazorius.
Working with her on what? Lore taps the empty cup with a claw. You get the hint and signal the bartender.
This one, you are going to have to bribe me.
Badly.
Bro. Doesn't that seem like something you should be asking her? She's your client, after all. Go home, detective. Or go talk to Cesarius, Maxora, whatever she's calling herself now. Just leave me to my drink. And a word of advice. Detective, watch yourself around her. She may look sweet, but those claws are sharp.
Hi, the troops are all here. I love it.
I also love that basically putting your real profession in quotes. Detective. If that's what you really are.
Getting up from the table, you make your way out into the Evernight.
I just love it, though. So someone actually just said a while ago, in a really entertaining way, I just ran into it on Tumblr, where they're just like, say things that are absolutely true about people, but with, your verbal quotations, and just being like, oh yes, this is my friend so-and-so. They're a doctor. And they actually are and it's just, funny.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta do this now. Those are gloves.
Ah!
The little gloves.
So
also,
good.
wear tail.
I think that's the shadow part back here.
Okay. It's not more, okay.
Yeah, because, it's the same kind of shadow back
Oops,
here.
Bye.
But yeah, it's the same kind of shadow back there along the back of the main character.
I can see it. So this shadow, and then that is tail bit there.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm also sort of like, is this modesty pose? But you are all shoulders, bro.
Yeah. It's okay, though.
No, it's not bad. Imagine they could just tear your face off with the antlers if they wanted to.
Oh, hell yeah. Actually, deer are incredibly violent if you get them going.
Lovely.
Moose are destructive as hell. Alright.
Stanra eyes you uncaringly as you emerge from the bar. You tip your hat as much as the horns allow and move into the street.
I'm never going to get tired of that joke. I'm just not going to get tired. If they do continuity the whole time with tearing up the hat and the horns don't really allow you to move it around in the traditional way, it will send me.
Uh-huh.
Also, I'm like, is that like wingtip eyeliner so strong it goes all the way down your neck?
Honestly, why wouldn't you?
Because part of me is just like, those are wings that you just painted all the way down your neck because you could.
I mean, I love the fact that it's like a frog meets deer meets croc.
Mm-hmm.
I am for that.
So a frock.
A frock.
A freer.
A freer.
So, Detective Cari Barras, day one, and you found out what?
I'm also like Cari Barras.
Maxora probably lied to you. Loratharak has probably lied to you. They're both probably lying to you. Both of them, I think, are lying to you in some capacity.
So, in the case of your tropes, if we're doing standard noir tropes as best as I know them,
they both lie.
They're both suspicious characters. They're both not telling you the full story, which means both of them are liars.
Liars!
Liars.
Oh, I could do this way. They're both liars!
Liars.
Maxora has told you little to nothing about this case, despite eagerly retaining your services. Lorathrak hasn't told you anything except Maxora is hiding something. Obviously not wanting to give anything away. All you know is that there's more going on here than simple blackmail, and you're still on the case.
Well, of course they're both lying. Again, that's the other thing. Well, there's someone else, so whatever. You're like, that's all I have. You're kidding.
I mean, I bet you it would diversify the game if you chose something different. But
Oh, yeah.
I love that one. That makes perfect sense to me.
Good thing you're being paid by the day.
Uh-huh.
You can feel your bed calling to you. Best to call it a night. After you drank 2 sodas, had 2 conversations, you're done.
That's it, your whole day.
I
drank a possibly tea. Chapter 2.
Chapter 2!
And also a soda. And I just talked to 2 people. I'm just like, I am spent. I have no social spoons. Yeet.
Goodbye!
But technically we talked to 3 people. We talked to the bartender as well.
And we've also talked to Alex, but I'm like, that was a really short night.
It was pretty short. Maybe it was a really long walk down to that side of town. We never know.
You arrive at the hotel Maxora is staying at after filling Alex in on the previous night's encounters. So what's... Oh, I guess...
Is that Alex talking?
Yes,
is that
I think
what that
so.
indicator is?
Yeah, like it's the past.
Okay, I can see that. So, what's the plan? Just go in there and demand the truth from Miss Maxora, tough cop style?
I couldn't tough cop if someone was paying me to. I failed drama class.
That's adorable.
That's adorable!
You're so
Your
cute.
character, I'm in weeb. I can sound like this, but I'm not good at any of this.
Like, I can only do this because I am this thing in my soul.
The building is old, but well maintained. Rough, clean stone brick and an air of faded majesty in a near empty area of the city.
Faded majesty.
That's
10 years old.
At the front desk, you ask to ring up to Miss Maxora's room and let her know you've arrived. We walk upstairs. Time passes.
You don't go upstairs. You wait for a
wait for her.
response.
More time passes. Tucked into the corner of the room is a drink vending machine. You drop a coin into the slot and twist the knob. The machine grinds for a moment, then drops your coin into the return slot. It's out of Monster Mash.
It's always empty. I don't think it's been refilled in the last decade.
I've never been so disappointed.
We have just experienced this character and the greatest disappointment of their entire life. Never?
Aha!
Super cute.
Very
Look at you. And the
adorable.
green on your wings matches that. I also like the small, curvy. Just imagining her being about like 4'7", with the ears.
You mean 400'7"?
Shh.
Because kaiju are huge.
I know.
for the most part.
So, she's 46 feet tall.
Ooh.
Everybody else a minimum of 50.
Right?
They're like, yes, the short one.
Oh, yes, very short.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Never?
Okay, once. But it turned out my toy rocket ship was behind the sofa the whole time.
What was it? We're going on a trip in
With
our
our
favorite
favorite
rocket ship.
Yep.
That says more about you, detective, than I'd ever need to know. The 2 main disappointments in your life were right now and when you were a young child.
Right.
Damn.
Maxora standing more confidently than you'd seen her in the office. Gone is the look that she'll start crying at any moment. There's not that much of me to know. A pleasure to see you again, Miss Maxora.
The trope. I'm just a simple man with a simple job.
And a simple
boring,
life.
really. Just sort of straight-laced and, uninteresting.
I guess.
But
Even
also
though they're a straight
mysterious.
It's okay, they're a straight NB.
It's all right. Please, detective. I told you to call me Max. No need for formalities here.
As you wish, Max. You're paying, after all. On that note, there's some things I'd like to discuss with you in private. Is there somewhere we can talk? She motions to a couple of ancient lounge chairs in the corner.
Yeah, the public lobby's a great place.
Exactly. Yeah, they're 9 years old. I'm really just like, this ancient place. The big separation only happened 10 years ago. It's okay.
I'm also like, so are we suggesting this place would actually be less than 10 years old if the big separation happened and then you started building it?
Ooh.
So most of these buildings, 2, 3, 5 years old, 7
Or
years
is it just
old?
the fact of like these were the places that was in the high part of society, and then as the war basically you lost a ton of resources, so these things are much older. It's not saying that everything only showed up afterwards.
Right, so it's we basically, maybe you had this city, but you only segregated into the city permanently 10 years ago.
What if this is supposed to be kind of a reference built off of, like, the heyday of both, like, the original Godzilla movies and King Kong, which was back in the 1940s, 1950s? So that's why a lot of this is, like, here's your noir age, because they basically, like, they lost that war, so whatever King Kong or whatever Godzilla lost to... So they're like...
But their time never moved forward after that.
Because they were disconnected from society past that point.
And so they're just
like, or at least from humanity, which I think is hilarious. That why would you adopt? It's fine. Why did you adopt your oppressors? But here we are. It's okay.
Colonialism's a thing.
Yeah, but if you have no connection to them anymore, when you develop your own sort of experience, also, why would you have colonialism when they weren't trying to conquer you? They were just trying to get you to go away.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thought, and I really am. I'm like, okay, so you came here, but also they sent me up for the war. So you had this city before, you just weren't officially fully segregated to it.
Right.
That's what I'm going, is like going, we made New Monstropolis, but also going, okay, but the bartender was like, I was sent up for the war. So you did live underground before, but not in this city?
Yeah.
Or you didn't build an actual city before.
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, I'm one of the only residents staying in the hotel. And the clerk at the front desk is hard of hearing, so we should be able to talk here.
If you say so.
Basically, I don't want you in my room.
Pretty much.
I can't invite you there yet.
The pair of you take your seats. The surface world design of them, meaning you and Max have to find comfortable places for your tales.
Hell yeah!
You really
Hell
are.
yeah!
That's such good, though. That's so good thoughtfulness. Okay, someone going, I've been in a fursuit before. Furniture is terrible.
I'm also, okay. Friend,
yes.
You know what this looks like?
What? The hotel?
So this particular hotel, do you know what this just reminds me of?
No.
This reminds me of NDK.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember, like, the area, and then they go down, like, in the...
Yeah, there's it's a big lobby. I mean, a lot of them, like, I've seen numerous hotel lobbies in my life.
No, I know, but I'm like, this looks a lot like the one that we've been to a lot for NDK.
A couple of times, yeah. Okay, I can see that. I can see it.
Anyway, that's fine.
I'm entertained at just how big the flower bowl is, to be honest.
I know.
Been staying here long.
Long enough. It's a decent place. Clean, quiet, out of the way. Sometimes you don't need anything fancy. Looks pretty fancy with a chandelier and everything.
I know, right?
Big sweeping staircase. Don't need anything fancy.
I'm just surprised you aren't staying with your family. Do they live in the city?
Are you investigating me now, detective?
Let's just call it professional curiosity. Us PIs get used to asking lots of questions and can't easily turn it off.
My family is always busy. As such, things can get a little hectic from time to time, so I come here once in a while for some peace and quiet.
Oh, that's yours.
Any other questions you'd like to ask, detective? Or shall we get back to business?
Take a time to take a risk. Sometimes you have to be subtle.
I feel like we're the subtle type, especially if we're going with, okay, so if you go with traditional noir movies and stuff, the most I know about it is they start subtle and then they go real hard when they go hard.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so sometimes you gotta be subtle.
Alright, so we're gonna go with the subtle because, again, the urgency is not here.
Not yet.
Not yet, so we're taking our time until shit hits the fan, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna be one of those people that is, a panic is our muse. So when we hit the actual trouble, that's gonna be like, okay, now you do it.
Business, of course. I encountered Lorithrak last night. He seemed a bit unsettled, and I wonder if you know anything more about him.
Now, I kind of assumed eventually that this was the next day, but I would have liked it
They
clearly
did say it was the next day.
They did?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't catch it very well. I was like, there's time that's gone by.
Last night's events.
So it didn't say it was the next day, but it implied it through last night's events.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. Not much, detective. I've only met him once, and at that... And that?
Once. I think it's supposed to be, and that. It's not at that, it's and that.
I've only met him once at that, when he gave me a blackmail demand, or I've only met him once, and that was when he gave me the blackmail demand.
The demand, of course. You wouldn't have it with you, would you? She looks suddenly taken aback.
Oh, what do you mean?
The demand. I'm assuming he gave you a note or something. Otherwise, how would you know how much and who to give it to? Sitting in silence, it's easy to see the different emotions flickering across her face. What aren't you telling me, Miss Maxora? In the distance, you can hear the clerk handing out keys to a resident, but the area around you remains in tense silence. I think it's about time you told me the truth, Maxora. Or should I call you Sazorius? She looks up, startled.
She'd been contemplating the claws in her lap. Aggressively. He told you that name, huh?
You nod. He told me a lot of things, including that you've not been honest with me, and that you hired me for a false case. I don't like being lied to, and I don't like not knowing what to call you.
Okay, I have to say, dear Max, this is not the subtlety I was expecting. Let's be subtle! Aggressively in your face. That worked out not at all.
That is not subtlety.
So I'm like, was that meant to be a bait and switch kind of thing?
I don't know.
Or is that really his version of subtle? Because that would be amazing.
They.
Oh, sorry. Is that their version of subtle? If there had been an actual introduction, it would have helped me, because I didn't read the lore of the game, I've just listened to you, which I trust you, but it doesn't stick in my head the same.
Well, it's also the fact, too, that, like, there's a lot of theys being thrown around, and then again going, we know what she or he is. Like, I still have problems in these games going, like, how do you tell?
So for half a second, when she specified Miss, I was really excited because I was like, oh, are people going to specify their gender? So you know, and then there will be basically culturally associated pronouns with those titles.
Right.
And then it didn't persist with anyone else.
I know!
So I assume it was just her going, I'm not involved, I'm Miss instead of Mrs., you know?
Yeah, I was like, no, that was the flirty one, unfortunately. I was like,
Miss.
oh.
But I was
Miss,
like,
I'm not involved, I'm not married.
But that's the thing, again,
Yeah.
I would like to know is going, and I ask this in every game that has gender pronouns in it, but doesn't function with a binary, because we function in binary and we're playing the game. How do people in that society know each other's pronouns if no one asks and no one tells?
Mm-hmm.
That is what I would like to know. And it's a coding thing I've wanted for a really long time in all the games we've played, going, is this a thing that there is an in-universe explanation for how people know each other's pronouns? Or is it just the authors writing the pronouns that belong to the characters because they belong to the characters? So I would like that distinction, I guess.
I would like more world building in that aspect.
Like,
but anyway,
in real life, you generally just have to give your pronouns.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Hey, we got through episode number 2. We hope to see you
Yes.
back for episode number 3.
Yes.
If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Hey, hey, hey. Also, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi and our Patreon. We have some links in the description down below. We could really use your support. We have some goals that we're trying to achieve, and like any little bit helps. Like, genuinely, I can't even lie. So, other than that, though, I have been Scandal.
And if you ever want to join us streaming live on Twitch, we are very interactive with the chat, and we would love to see you there. And I have been Liz.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!